Hello and welcome. I'm Jamie Mogil, President of the League of Women Voters of Lower Merion and Narberth. I'm honored to be serving as host for the interviews for the candidates for Delaware County Council in the 2025 general election. The League is committed to creating nonpartisan voter education that helps you, the public, to be better informed, irrespective of party or candidate affiliation. In that vein, as a Montgomery County resident, I'm ineligible to vote for the candidates I'll be interviewing for this position as council members. All candidates were invited to participate in individual interviews. All candidates will be asked and answer the same set of questions, as well as given the same amount of time for answering those questions, as well as their opening and closing statements. The interviews will only be published after all candidates who have responded and have been interviewed. Just a quick overview of the format. The candidate will have, and the candidates are aware of this information, the candidate will have an opening statement, introduce themselves, and give a bit about their background. I will then ask the questions, and the candidate will have 90 seconds to respond to each question. There will be a timer to assist the candidate, although you as the viewer will not see that. And that's really to give a nice flow to the presentation, as we want to be sure the candidate addresses all the various topic areas. At the end of questioning, I'll prompt the candidate for their closing statement, and then I'll do a quick wrap up to say thank you. So without further ado, because this is really not about listening to me, but to hear from the candidates for Delaware County Council. So Richard, I'm going to turn it over to you for 90 seconds to give us your opening statement, tell us a bit about yourself and your background.
Thank you, Jamie. Um, my name is Richard Womack. I am currently the Vice Chair of Delaware County Council. I have lived in Delaware County all my life. I also have worked for the National AFL-CIO for over 25 years. I have always have worked in the labor movement as a total for 35 years. I also am a resident of Darby Township. I grew up there, and that is still where my residency is there. I have also served as a Darby Township Commissioner for 12 years. Out of those 12 years, 4 of those years, I was the president of the council there as well. I pride myself because I've been working in community as a community activist, working in the Civil Rights Department, also working as the liaison for the AFL-CIO as far as community and religious affairs. I will continue to do a work. I am a servant for the community. I have also served as the public safety director for Darby Township as I speak now. I am also informed and work on various committees as far as working along with law enforcement, with our emergency services as well. I have also done many works with around the interfaith groups. I work with A. Philip Randolph Institute, which I am the national vice president of. I also work with our labor union women as well. I continue to work as much as I can and dedicate my time to help make our community a lot better and continue to make it safe as well. So I am a father of one, and I have three grandchildren that I'm very proud of. I feel like I have been raised by my mother and my father who have reared me. My mother who's a minister, and my father who's a national civil rights director. So I tell people I had the best of both worlds. So I learned to be a servant because that's what they taught me to be as well.
All right, great. Sorry, I was giving you the thumbs up there because I was telling you we
Oh,
have to 90 seconds. Just be sure you look at the clock there. But thank you, Richard.
okay. All right, go ahead.
We're gonna hear even more from you
Sure.
now. And we're gonna start first with governance, which only makes sense because we want to make sure Delco residents hear what are your goals and key priorities for the county and how you plan to address them given the reality that, as you know, the council structure, you're only one uh, of a five-member council. So first, your key goals and priorities, and then how do you plan to work toward and achieve those goals if you're only one of five council members? And with the questions now, you'll have a minute and a half, 90 seconds.
All right, thank you. Well, in governance, one thing I believe in is transparency. Even though I may be one of five, I'm going to be one person that will be very transparent. Sometimes it may go against my colleagues of what they believe, but I will also always let the residents know and our citizens know that what I believe and what I really want them to know. I continue to be transparent. I will be transparent. I feel like I am an open book. And I feel like when you govern, that you should have any information you should share with the citizens in your municipalities. I will continue to help build our relationships because I believe that in governance that you need to have a partnership and a relationship not only with your colleagues but with your residents as well. They need to believe in you. They need to trust in you. I want to continue to gain their trust. I want to be able to give them the information. I want to hear their voices because they too have a voice. I want to be that person to represent them, to continue to say, here's where we're at, here's where we're going, and this is what we need to build on. Because it takes a team effort. And that the team is not just who sits on council with you, but your team is everybody that you serve. So I will continue to be out front and will continue to be supportive. I will continue to look at different issues that focus on the community to help it continue to thrive.
And speaking of relevant to the topic of goals and priorities, is this next area, which is the budget. Because looking at the county budget can tell us a lot about the goals and the priorities. The fiscal year 2025 Delaware County budget has a nearly $400 million operating budget with key focus areas, as I'm sure you know, like a 5-year plan to address infrastructure improvements. But to do things, we know that takes money. And the budget also included a property tax increase of 23%. So please tell us your thoughts on the budget, specifically that recent tax increase with respect to revenue streams, and how will you address the shortfalls and instability in state and federal funding when passing and implementing the county budget? So it's both your thoughts on the budget and that tax increase with respect to revenue streams, and then also, how do you address the shortfalls and instabilities with state and federal funding?
Well, Jamie, I would try to do so in 90 minutes, but it would take me a lot
90
longer.
seconds, 90 seconds.
Oh,
Give us
90
give
seconds.
us your
Okay.
overview. Give us your overview.
Okay.
I'm sure you
Well,
could take 90 minutes.
right. Okay. But first of all, let me say the budget increase of 23%, I did vote no on that because I felt like that we could do a little deeper dive and maybe have cut in some areas. You say cut in what areas? The county, we own a lot of different properties. Feel like there was maybe some properties that we could have sold, or there was some places that we could have rented out as well. And we also could have worked along with maybe cutting back on certain positions that were not that essential. But in saying that, what we did do, there was no frivolous spending in the budget. There was a lot of infrastructure work that had to be done, things that had been overlooked for many years. We had a collapsed garage that we had to rebuild. The prison right now that had dilapidated um, locks, doors, cameras, which is costing us over $30 million to redo. The courthouse itself, if you go in and look at some of the restrooms in there, I don't even want to use them. There is so much that needs to be done. Even our heating system is not working properly. Those things cost and things that have not been done for many years. So when you don't raise the taxes for many years, it continues to build up and to build up. And if you don't do any kind of maintenance to your properties, it's going to cost you a lot more in the end. So, having said that, I put in a budget task force, and the budget task force is made up of residents who are able to see our budget. They are able to make comments, and we will continue to be an open book and help and make sure that they have a say as well moving forward.
Okay, and another critical area that, I mean, there's a lot of critical areas, but another one that the county, as you may know, each Pennsylvania county is responsible for the administration of elections, in their respective county. Please share your thoughts on the current administration of elections in Delaware County. What is working? What isn't? What improvements or changes, if any, would you suggest?
Well, let me say this. I think our staff does an excellent job handling the elections. We have more people that is serving them. We have the drop boxes where people can go in and and put in their mail in their ballots. We have did everything possible to make it easier for the voters. Some people may not like the drop box and say, we want you to come vote in person. But there is people that's unable to really to get out, to really be able to do that. So if they're not able to make it to the polling place, let's try to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to vote. Wherever we should not try to make it hard. We should try to make it as easy as possible. I pride our staff to make sure that we make sure that the votes are counted correctly. We make sure that we have plenty of staff around that when they go and collect the ballots, we make sure that there's either two or three people that go and pick up the ballots and bring them in. We have cameras in place that oversee the counting of the ballots and also have cameras in place that watches the mail-in ballot boxes. So I think that we do a very good job as far as the election goes itself. So I pride myself, and you say, what can we do to make it even better? I would say let's continue to do what we're doing and make sure that if we can enhance it anymore, that we will try to find any way possible to enhance people having the opportunity to vote. Um, we do check the IDs. We train people to say, make sure you check the ID, that this is the right person that's voting as well, and making sure that everybody knows where to vote at is also critical.
Yeah. And I'll be talking about at the end just to remind people about Delco votes and making sure they know about Election Day. But I think if they're watching, they want to hear even more from you. And our next topic is kind of a mixed bag. It's both about the environment and development, because development helps create jobs and housing, but there's also negative impacts that can happen, such as increased pollution, risk to public health, and often economic failure in the long run. How do you plan to address the balance of development with the county's commitment to sustainability? And please, if you can, provide specific examples so that we can understand your decision-making process on that balance.
Okay. Well, first of all, let me talk a little bit about the economy and the balance. We want to grow our economy. We want to make sure that we attract more businesses into the county. I had proposed to try to do an incentive for people, for businesses to come here in the county, even if it's a lower tax rate for like the first 3 or 4 years to gain their business. I also believe in supporting our businesses that's already here in the county. Because I believe if we can support them and make it viable for them in their business, that helps grows the county as well. And it helps it grows our economy as far as jobs as well, and making sure that we employ Delaware County residents. As far as the pollution, we look for a zero waste. And I know that in doing so, there's things that we have to cut back on, that we have made some decisions on. Just like with the plastic bags, we have done away with plastic bags, plastic straws. We have done away with it at the county. We have passed a resolution asking even businesses around not to use that and be supportive. I know that there was some work that wanted to be done on the waterfront, is building a fuel line that comes through. We have been opposed to it. because we want to make sure that our residents are protected and make sure that the environment and the air quality is great for our families because we don't want anyone to contract any kind of sickness, but we want to make sure that we can continue to keep them healthy as well. And I will continue to support whatever we can do to make sure that we're sustainable and moving in the right direction.
Hey, moving along, criminal justice. In recent years, Delaware County has dealt with pressing criminal justice matters. Specifically, the county is taking control of the George Hill Prison, centralized the arraignment process, created a jail oversight board, and helped establish nonviolence programs, amongst other things. What are your thoughts on these efforts, and are there other initiatives and steps you think need to be taken beyond those regarding the area of criminal justice?
Well, criminal justice is one of the things that I really focused on. And I say that because we know at the prison, there are a lot of people in the prison that has mental health problems that really need the help and maybe not should right be there in the prison. So we are looking and contracting with different mental health facilities to try to see that we can relocate them. We have been working with the courts to try to reduce the prison residuation to make sure that we can reduce the population there and make sure that everyone is getting the proper help that they needed. We work very closely even with the DA's office. We have been very supportive. We watched the crime rate even go down. We looked at Chester as a model where we have installed cameras in Chester on the streets. We have also worked with citizen groups there in Chester as well. Our DA has been doing a phenomenal job around the county, and we have seen that the increase has been going down, has decreased as far as the violence and the crime. We will continue to build. Even in our juvenile detention center, we're looking to build a new juvenile detention center so that we can be able to house our own juveniles. Not only just to house them to incarcerate them, but we want to make an educational program as well to give them the education that they need to continue to move forward when they are being released back out into public population. So we will continue to do that and continue to make sure that our streets are safe.
I can't believe it. We're on the last question. And this is another big topic area, healthcare. Delaware County's healthcare delivery systems, as you know, are in crisis, especially with the recent hospital closures. But even before the closures, county residents were struggling to get accessible basic care. As a county council member, what will you or could you do to help Delco residents address this crisis?
That's a good question. And I don't have the total answer, but I can say this. Even after the closing of the hospitals, we have been working with various providers to try to come in to open up the hospitals. We have reached out to the state. We even reached out to the federal government to help support the opening of these hospitals. We have not received much support, but we're going to continue to fight and we're going to continue to try to look for providers to come in. We have been in the process where if some of the providers came in, that we may even give a tax reduction. We're looking at even maybe giving a forgiveness of tax in order for the facility to come in. It's been a huge problem, but we will continue to maybe set up various little, I call them satellites. Like we have our health department where we provide like vaccinations, and we're not a full hospital, but we are caring to some of their needs as well. We are even going to continue to work along to even help open up little micro hospitals in the area. So we'll continue to build on it. We will continue to build, and we'll continue to really work with providers to come in to give the resources that we need. And we have been working with a lot of our seniors to make sure that we can provide or make sure that they're getting the health care and proper insurance that they need to continue for their health benefits as well.
Well, hard to believe, but we're already at the end of the questioning. It goes fast. And I want to give you the opportunity now to do your closing statement. I know you were telling us a little bit more about yourself at the beginning and needed some time, but this is 2 minutes. So anything, that you want to further touch upon that you didn't have an opportunity to, or tell us a bit more, please do so. I turn it over to you for 2 minutes.
Well, I guess I want to spend this 2 minutes really kind of focusing on the budget because I know when I've been out campaigning, a lot of people was asking about the budget, the tax increase. I have came up and as I was saying, I had created the budget task force. The budget task force is made up of 50 residents out of the community where they actually oversee and they look at our current budget. They have made suggestions. They told us what's essential or things that we can even cut. We have taken their advice. We have taken your advice. And I encourage anyone, if you see something or you feel like that we can make changes, please let us know. We want to know. We want to make sure we get it right. And listening to the public and having them on our budget committee can't be no more transparent than that. I want to be transparent. I want to have an open book. I want their insight and their input. And some of the residents have come up with great ideas and we're implementing them. So I want to say I will continue to be transparent in my reelection. I will continue to be a voice for the people. I have a saying that I'm with the people, I'm for the people. So what affects you, it affects me. And when you thrive, I thrive. We all thrive. So let's continue to work together and continue to make Delaware County great. Thank you.
Thanks so much. And I just want to say, on behalf of myself and the League of Women Voters of Delaware County, an interleague organization composed of both the Central Delaware County and Radnor Leagues, thank you so much for your time because I know you're busy. And thank you for rerunning for this important position. To our viewers, thank you as well. Please go to vote411.org, the league's one-stop shop for all your voting information, including your registration. I hope if you're watching this, you're definitely registered, but it's always good to check. And consider joining us at the League as we strive to help make democracy work. As your host, I also want to thank the and let you know about the League's mission. It's not only just to register voters, but also to provide nonpartisan election information to guide you in civic engagement. And just a reminder to please vote election day. And as we talked about, you have options. It's so great. Don't want to do vote by mail, don't want to go to a satellite office, don't want to drop it off. Great, go in person. Choose what works for you or what you can do. And just remember that election day is November 4th if you do go in person. And thank you for assuring that elections in Delaware County will be fair, safe, and secure. Thanks so much.